Hey guys, E-Dog here, and I'm going to be taking a quick look at the game Dogfight 1942. Now this is a game that I had picked up off of Xbox Live out of sheer boredom, and honestly I hadn't initially planned on reviewing it, but after playing it over the past few weeks I can honestly say that this is a very fun and enjoyable title. But why exactly is this? Well, let's fly on and find out, shall we? The main campaign of this title is split into two theaters. In the first theater, you take on the personas of the US Air Force as you fly missions against the Japanese in the Pacific. These missions will have you flying over Midway Island, Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima, and through various naval battles. The second half of the campaign has you flying as the RAF as you dogfight the German Air Force. During this campaign, you get to bombard German outposts in France, test fly a stolen German vehicle, and even protect London from bombers and V-1 rockets. Each mission allows you to choose between various aircraft, which obviously get better as you progress through the campaign. Aircraft which range from dive bombers and biplanes, all the way up to heavy assault aircraft and even bombers in the DLCs, but I'll get into those in a moment. These aircraft all have a degree of customization with the ability to change up the standard paint jobs, along with unlocking ace varieties. Each plane has its own distinct handling, speed, and armament, which allows for a great amount of replayability when you switch them up. As I'm sure you've realized by now, the combat mostly consists of dogfighting with you shooting down various enemy fighters. While engaged in combat, you must line up your crosshair with a reticle in front of your enemy in order to lead your shots and shoot them down. However, this can be a bit tricky, especially while under enemy fire and contesting with superior air power. So this is where the ace mode comes in. If you're ever having trouble, you can simply use the ace mode to automatically lock onto a certain enemy and simply move your crosshair to shoot them down. Now, one could argue that this aspect could make the game much too easy, and in some respects, one would be right. However, I personally never felt that I had to use this ability, and even if the game felt too easy, there is also the arcade mode. This mode makes the handling of the planes much more difficult, albeit realistic, with you having to manually control the pitch and yaw while flying, not to mention maintaining the crosshair manually. Overall, this campaign consists of 17 missions, which span the course of 1940 to 1945. Which begs the question of why on earth this game is titled Dogfight 1942. However, there are also two DLCs for this game, and considering I purchased and played them both, I may as well review them. The first DLC is titled Sands of Africa. This DLC has you flying once again as the RAF, although this time you're fighting against the German and Italian air and naval forces in Africa. Now, there are only 6 missions in this pack, but this pack not only allows for more variety to the campaign, but it also allows for some unlockable vehicles. Not to mention, the missions in this add-on will have you flying through various historical battles as you attempt to outwit the Desert Fox. The second DLC for this game is called Eastern Winds. This DLC has you flying with the Russian Air Force as you attempt to drive the quote-unquote fascist pigs from the motherland. These missions vary from covering an evacuation in the Ukraine, to destroying V-2 rocket outposts, and you even escort bombers to Berlin and steal a German jet fighter. Now, if I were to recommend a single DLC from these, I'd have to say take a look at Eastern Winds, as I found the story more engaging, not to mention it does have more missions. However, these DLCs are only $3 a piece, so you really are getting your money's worth either way. And now for the reviewing. Taking a look at the graphics, these are pretty damn good for a $10 arcade title. The planes all show a great amount of detail and are all historically and anatomically correct. Just don't look too close to the textures on the ground vehicles and environments. As for the gameplay, it actually runs very smoothly. Whether taking off, landing, dogfighting, or bombing, this game handles like a charm. Although the ace mode does make this game feel a bit too easy, just keep in mind that you don't have to use it, and in fact many missions award you for not using it. I guess the only issues I have with this game are threefold. Firstly, the soundtrack is so forgettable that I even forgot this game had one. I guess that's why it's so forgettable. The second problem with this game is that the loading screens are both very frequent and long, which can really slow down the pace of the game. The final problem I found is that for the most part the storyline is very forgettable. The American pilots do have some character development and some witty dialogue here and there, but for the most part their dialogue just boils down to, "The Lord is just as willing to punish these Japs as we are." Their words, not mine. As for the RAF pilots, their storylines are nothing too special, but at least I had an easier time sympathizing with them. They've had their home bombarded by bombers and rockets for the past 3 years, and just want to end this war for the sake of themselves, their country, and their families. But a fairly weak story and soundtrack aside, can I recommend checking out this title? Well, I had a lot of fun playing this game. So much fun, in fact, that I am currently ranked #1 on Xbox Live for this game. No big deal. No big deal! But in all seriousness, considering you can get a full game for $10 and another 13 missions for $6, all of which span a large portion of the World War II theater, I would absolutely recommend checking this out. If you're into World War II fighting sim games, this game can be found on the XBLA, PSN, and Steam. So thanks for watching, everyone. This is E-Dog saying, the next time we meet, I'll be taken to the skies once again. See you next time.